Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the NOYC Godcast. So happy to have you along with us. Well, it's official. We survived the 2021 Northern Ohio Youth Camp. Amazing feat. Amazing feat. So excited. And so today we really don't have much of agenda, which makes us kind of nervous on our end, I guess. But we kind of just wanted to unpack the week of camp, give you a little bit of inside scoop from behind the scenes of what we went through, and then just kind of give us some foresight in going forward of what we can look at. And so you see we got our Unmovable shirts on.
Except for me.
Except for Jayme, because she didn't do laundry.
Like, we're going to wear our Unmovable shirts. I'm like, y'all done laundry?
Yeah, we did laundry. Not so much for stinky Jayme over there. Anyhow, so Unmovable. So we're going to talk about that again today. So I guess the first thing I want to kind of bring up is, dude, this year of camp was hard. Maybe you all don't know that. Maybe it eluded you guys, but it was hard. I am wearing an arm brace and ankle brace, which you kind of can't see. I got beat up at camp. We came across several problems and things. Camp was hard.
I got hit in the head by a water jug baseball bat.
I may have hit her in the head with the water jug baseball bat.
She went to move it from the back of the golf cart to the front of the golf cart and just didn't, account for my head to be there. And she went, boom. Yeah.
That's been like 12 years of coming, I think, honestly. But just like things like that's kind of a goofy example. Yeah. But there were some hard stuff at camp. Yeah. So for us, it kind of started before camp even began. Mm-hmm. We showed up the weekend before camp, and right off the bat, like we had someone that was sick, had to be taken to the hospital. We had someone like a child that we had to babysit on top of setting everything up. Mm-hmm. Just it seemed like a lot of hiccups. Yeah. And then we get to Monday, the first day of camp and registration. Would you like to speak to the fun of registration?
It all fell apart.
We had all these plans, all of these things that were going to make this the best check-in process ever, and it may be the hardest one we've had yet.
This is what we learned. You can't have a job and then let someone else do the final portion of the job and expect that it will be completed accurately. Yeah.
So the registration was a hot mess. That was difficult. And then down through the week, it was a good week. It was a solid week. I feel like one of our greatest weeks of camp, but it was hard. Yeah. It was a hard week, for us three at least, and you too, but we were together. It was a lot of unexpected work. We always expect work, but it was like we didn't have.
Well, there was no downtime. Normally,
at all.
Once the periods start, everything's set up. So we just never stopped. We ran out of gas because we went so much.
Yeah.
We ran out of gas.
In more ways than one.
And every breakfast was cold by the time we got to it.
And lunch and dinner.
It was hard. I
do feel like there was less time because even running the events and stuff, you're just shoveling in a few bites of food and you're the next period's already supposed to be starting and then you just have to go out there. And I feel like having a year off was such a great benefit in so many ways. I think we were able to regroup and just take out the stuff that wasn't important or wasn't working, add some good stuff back in. But then also having a year off, you get soft. We were soft.
We're soft and squishy is what we learned.
And coming back was so hard. I mean, before Monday even started, we were like,
how are we going to do this?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, and then we had other hiccups. There were some other things that went awry. We won't get into all the details. Several hiccups throughout the week. But all of that to say this, it was a great week.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this is what I learned. You're going to be teaching all these kids about being unmovable. You're going to have to live it. Yeah. You got to do it live in action. Yeah. And so we, taught the lessons, but then we had to live it. And that's kind of what my week was like. It's a tough week, but you can't be moved.
Well, and that's the thing is even when, because we plan things forever in advance. When we wouldn't have enough stuff, we didn't plan for it because we'd have kids, which is a blessing, but kids come in after we had already closed registration and all these things. And so we planned for this amount and then you get a call we don't have enough of these. Yeah. We don't have this. We don't have that. And
Constantly.
You're constantly. Yeah. And even stuff that we knew would work, it didn't work. And then we're okay, well, we have to, fix it.
Yeah. Thank goodness for that Dollar General.
Oh,
Thank goodness for that Dollar General. That was, yes, that was such a blessing.
But you were talking though, honestly, what got me through the week, I would think of snippets of the prayer stations or the lessons that I read prior and okay, I gotta, this is what's going to get me through. And had I not got to go through that before camp, I don't know that I would have survived camp.
I remember telling Mom on the way here this morning, I'm it has to be God-given. I know that, me and Rachel were together most of the week. all week.
All week.
And like
Morning, night, and day.
Seriously.
but like we were together all the time, and it had to be God given because most of the time, even when people come together, they rub each other the wrong way.
Smack each other up.
Yeah, she just smacks you around.
You may think you were fine, but she was taking it out.
But like honestly, it had to be God given because it's not anything of us. We laughed the entire time. Like things.
They did. They
things
laughed
were
the entire
literally
time.
falling apart. A balloon popped, and we were trying to shove it with socks. And
Oh, you gotta tell that story. Great story. Great story.
I think I'm gonna let Rachel tell because she's the one that popped it.
Right now, here we are. Okay. So we had a what are those kind of balloons called?
The helium balloon.
Yeah, it's
Like-
called a mylar.
It's a foil. Isn't it
Foil
called
balloon.
foil balloons?
Yeah, mylar's the latex.
So it's like a foil balloon.
Foil balloon. Like what would you
It
get for
was-
a birthday party?
Yeah, it was a prop for a prayer station. It was a helicopter. So like we thought it would be cool because we had a cityscape backdrop, a helicopter full of air floating, and then like a rope ladder, right? So I went to fill it up, that morning, and like the propellers weren't filling. So like I was waiting, thinking everything should be full, and then pop, like right down the middle. Like there was no
was, like,
taping
split.
it.
So in the meantime, they come up with a solution.
So, like, the logical thing to do is to tape the seams and shove socks inside. And try to hang it with fishing string.
So I'm like running around before the day starts, and I get this page, Josh, we need to do the prayer station stats. So I come in there,
We were
and they're
crying.
like, yeah, they're crying and have the look of we've done something very dumb, but we need your approval. And I walk in, and there's this sad-looking helicopter just crying from the ceiling.
If we can get CJ to, or you, we have a picture. We need to
Type
put
that
that in
in,
there.
yes,
we need to put that
absolutely.
He did not approve.
in. We did
Now
not.
I said, take it down. And get
It
the
kind of
socks
looked,
out of
if
the floor.
anybody watches like Pokemon, it looked like a dead Magikarp. Honestly, that's what it looked like.
That's a little scary insight into the minds of the minions. The logical explanation
in our
is
defense, that
socks.
was like Thursday. So
Thursday,
we
yeah.
were already dead at that point.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like that's what I want to talk about today is the mindset. I know we left on Thursday of camp with the mindset, and that mindset got me through camp.
Yeah.
Listen, Josh, you're here, fire burning everywhere, everything's falling apart. Wow, things are crazy. You are unmovable. Have that mindset.
Yeah.
Don't waver. You have the mindset. You know in your mind that no matter what comes or goes, no matter what falls apart, you are unmovable.
Yep.
Walk in that.
Yep.
That really got me through.
Yeah.
I think that was one of our greatest lessons this week. I heard a lot of comments on Adam's lesson on the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something about holding that hill. If you remember, he talked about Joshua Chamberlain, and he talked about the Battle of Little Round Top. And there's something about holding that hill. You know your orders. Your orders are you are here. You have to run a camp. That was your orders.
Yep.
And so you have this mindset that you can't falter.
Yeah.
This is if you die, that balloon has to be filled with socks.
Well, and I think alternately too, this year at camp was the first year that I really wasn't with anyone that I really knew very well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I had worked with Dawn in the past, so that was a huge blessing to have someone who at least had been through the insanity of Amazing Race before. But we were doing a lot of games and crafts and things that we'd never done before.
Yeah.
I hadn't really done them before aside from Amazing Race and Minute to Win It.
Yeah.
And then we have new people that
Mhm.
I'd never met before in my life.
Yep.
Had gotten 10 minutes to speak with them prior, and then some of them were coming and going during the week, and it was you never really knew what kind of a team you were going to have
Yep.
or what you were going to be doing the next day. And so staying up until midnight reading through the book and making sure we were going to be like, what could we possibly make sure we have ready to get started, and kind of just that same mindset of one way or another we have to make sure that this is going to get done.
Yeah.
Whether it, just like Nerf, doesn't follow the book whatsoever.
I don't know what you mean by that. I still have yet to
It
figure
was
out-
supposed to be in the craft pavilion.
Well, and that's the thing is I think that would be even harder because like we have all done camp, like us three have done camp together for how many years now, and so to have to be unmovable in the site, you don't these people, which I mean obviously Don has been with you, but like those people have no idea what camp is.
Well, and they're all like looking to me,
Yeah.
like for that, like tell me what to do, and I'm like,
If I got out of line, Rachel would be like,
and I'm the type of person that's
Here comes
like,
the water jug baseball.
yeah, like I need to be like really like, okay, this is what we are doing, and it's going to be set and it's going to be solid. That's exactly like craft the first day, no problem. Like I can handle it. We know what to do here. Nerf really threw me off, and like I don't know if it's
You hit
because
it so well.
it was the last day, but like I was like, I don't know what's going on, and I think it's because
She still has anxiety. Can you tell she's crying right now?
Tears welling up.
I hate Nerf anyway. Like I was like so
The
dreading
truth
that.
has come out.
And then we get there, and it's like not in the right building.
Yeah.
The wind is blowing. Nobody can hear me. The kids are screaming. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So for anyone who enjoyed Nerf that day, that was all completely made up. 100%. No instructions.
She was making up
provided.
games on the cuff like it was a hot mess.
Yeah.
So one of the things that really got me through the week, so we tried really hard to make the practice of going and having dinner with Juliet and going back to our room before church just to get our minds on straight. And our theme song this year was Truth I'm Standing On, which seemed to be so powerful. It came. I really feel like everyone connected with that song. But one of the lines in the song says, even when all my strength is gone.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times I prayed that this week. I said, Lord, there ain't no strength here.
Yeah.
It is gone.
Yeah.
But still we stand.
That's where his strength kicked in,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I felt like Monday going into it. I was like,
Dead.
I'm done.
I mean, I don't
Yeah,
ever
so-
remember starting a week so exhausted.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Ever.
but it's so
And
humbling
yet,
that
we
like
got
all
through.
of that was through like we talked about before. We were sunburnt.
Oh,
we
yeah.
were beaten.
We
We were like
I think you were beaten, or I was beaten, not you.
I beat you.
You were the beater.
But like
I did hit her with a tree branch accidentally. So
yeah, she got payback. But like we should have. We're old. We should have been hurting, and
Yeah.
like the sunburn and all the things. Like I
Didn't
always
hurt.
have back pain, just normal thing. My back never hurt. Like God came through, spiritually, emotionally, physically,
Yep.
like in all ways, and that's how we got
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
Even when all my strength is gone, you are faithful forever. That line just got me through the week. As I'd wake up in the morning after going to bed and getting less than 3 hours sleep each night, I would wake up and first I would go, ugh. and then I would say, even when all my strength is gone, God, you can do this. I can't. And he got us through. He got us through.
Yeah.
But I want to come back to the mindset.
Mhm.
So truly, I think we all kind of are in agreement. Like the mindset. So someone unpack that for us. Those of you who didn't get to go to camp, maybe you missed that lesson. What is an unmovable mindset?
regardless of what happens, this is our directive, and we have to complete it.
Being ready for it. Honestly, it's just being prepared for it. Like having the mindset of when you're going, like when we went into camp, obviously there's things that are thrown at you that you're not expecting. But the mindset is knowing if something's thrown at you, it doesn't matter. God's got it. To not be wavered just because you don't know what's going on.
Fix bayonets.
Fix bayonets.
Cannot be moved. And so what I kind of want to talk about today is we're all home now. And camp is over. The water jug bats have been tucked away safely.
for now.
The Nerf bullets have been hidden away for another year. Like camp's over. And now, as difficult as that week was,
Yeah.
now we face something permanently more difficult, and that's called life.
Yeah.
And day in and day out, we're going to be facing the rough registrations. We're going to be facing the wrong pavilion. We're going to be facing the balloons pop. You know what I mean? We're going to be facing these things daily in life that are much more difficult and complex and hurtful. And so when those things are hurled your way, are you ready to be unmovable? Are you ready to face those head on with a mindset that says, I don't care. I don't care if it's cancer. I don't care if it's a failed grade. I don't care if it's a car accident. I don't care if it's a loss of a job. I don't care what it is. My God is faithful.
Yeah.
My God's enough. I know in my mind that I cannot be moved. I am unmovable.
Yeah.
Someone help us with that. Like what it,
Well, I'm going to say, kind of confess my own like little sin. There was a situation that happened right after camp that like I did not handle correctly. I was mad, like really, really mad. Like throwing it, like if you guys would have saw me and been like, is that Jayme?
Like gets mad.
I do. Like I was, and poor Jacob.
I wondered when that name would come into this sentence. I was just
No,
waiting.
it wasn't. It had nothing to do with him, but it was a situation that was around whatever, and I didn't handle it correctly, and I had to go back and be like, that's not right. I had to pray about it, and I had to apologize to Jacob and apologize to other people that were in the situation. Like I had to put it into perspective, even though I didn't do it the right way the first time. I had to go back. So that's the whole thing I learned from that, is that it's a daily and a minute by minute decision. It's not, I messed up today, I guess I'll wait till tomorrow. You have to fix it then.
I think for me, like part of learning this is taking a step back, because I, in my life, have learned to be very decisive and very like when something happens, I respond because, I mean, to do my job and just all these excuses, but like that's how I am. Like I make a decision and I stick with it. And I think in some ways, like the Lord is teaching me, like take a step back.
Yeah.
and really like you have to look at this as a whole. And not only that, but stop making the decisions for yourself.
Yeah.
Because I can very easily make my own decisions and make that call and decide what I'm going to do and move forward with it. But he wants to make those decisions. And the best way to be, like, the only way to be unmovable is for it not to be your decision, because anything that we do in ourselves is not, it's shaking ground. Like you're going to fall.
So Joshua Chamberlain, and we encourage you, maybe we'll put the link for that lesson in this description, but Joshua Chamberlain was given the orders to hold the ground. No matter what, at all costs, hold the ground. If it means your life, hold the ground. And I think what Jenny's saying is that a lot of times we rationalize what should be done. Yeah. So the Old Testament has a verse that is so infamous that everyone knows. They did that which was right in their own eyes. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say they did that which was wrong in their own eyes. Yeah. What they were doing, they thought was right. What the decisions they were making, they were convinced was the right decisions. They did what was right in their own eyes. And I think that a lot of times we stand on that hill and we think, well, I have a family to return to. The right thing is to go back safely to them. I have these men's lives in my hands. The right thing to do is preserve them. That we rationalize, we do what's right in our own eyes, when all along God's saying, no, the hard thing, that's what you're supposed to do. You have to have a mindset that says, I will not be moved. And guess what? God delivered Joshua Chamberlain, and he'll deliver us. Yeah. We have to have that mindset that surrenders first, that says, Lord, your will, not my will, before we can be unmovable going forward. Okay. Good job, class.
Well, I think one of the, just like thinking about like all of this craziness that we're talking about, probably no one has any idea that any of that was even happening.
No one knew that Rachel abuses Jayme. No one knew that.
But there are so many other things. Like the list is so long, but the Lord takes care of it. Like there's so many different ways to describe that. But number one, everyone faces stuff that nobody else knows anything about. Like those are your personal struggles that you're going to go through. And the Lord's the only person who's going to be there and who's going to see you through it. Yeah. Number two, if we will submit to God and allow him to work through us, through our weaknesses and through our failures, what they see is him. Yeah. They don't see all of the rest of that.
So if throughout this week you saw all of us just being cool as a cucumber, it wasn't us.
Absolutely not.
Because all of us wanted to strangle everybody. No, but yeah, you have to be able to understand it's not about you. And it's so free to be able to make decisions that aren't yours. Yeah, like absolutely. To back up his decisions, not yours.
I can't tell you, this conversation keeps following me, which is quite interesting. I had this conversation with a gentleman that was at camp that I'd never met before. And I've had it since we came back from camp. So this conversation keeps following me, but we find the beginning of God when we find the end of ourselves. Mm-hmm. And really, I would say that's been an anthem of my life for like the past year, is that when you find the end of Josh, when you find that he's done, that's where God shows up. And that's kind of what our week of camp was. We found the end of Rachel and the end of Jayme and the end of Jenny and the end of Josh, all in different places, but we found the end of ourselves, and that allowed the beginning of God. That allowed him to show up, and he directed and he allowed us to be cool as cucumbers. Yes. And so cucumbers, it is the French pickle. Oh no. Anyhow, so I don't know. It's exciting to be unmovable. Yeah. It's exciting to have that mindset. I think you said peace. Yeah. But there is a peace about that. You know, no matter what comes, whether it's COVID with a vengeance, whether it is a job loss, whether it is whatever comes, just that mindset that it's not my problem.
Yeah, I don't remember at all this week feeling stressed about something.
I don't either.
Like I remember thinking, "Oh, we got to fix this.
This is not good."
Yeah, this is absolutely the worst thing. But like, never once did I think I've got to fix this. I'm not going to be able to handle this. Like someone else is not going to be able to handle this. It just kind of like somehow.
And we faced some hairy, ugly things this week. Some things that you guys probably don't even know about, and I hope you never find out about. I mean, I shouldn't say that. It wasn't.
Hope that you never have to feel the stress of.
Yeah, so there were some bad things happen at camp. Just some different quirks that came up.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't feel that.
Still just kind of
really, around, like I remember there was one instance, something we've never faced before, something security had to handle for us one evening, and I remember thinking, Lord, this has the potential to ruin camp. Mm-hmm. Literally ruin this ministry. God, please. This is yours. And I remember walking around, I was gathering some people and doing some things. And I remember just praying, Lord, it's in your hands. This is your ministry. If this is the end, this is the end. But this is your ministry. You can handle this. And Jenny can tell you, it literally just vaporized, just disappeared. Just
like that. Yeah. I mean, literally after it was all over, we were like looking around like,
how did that happen?
Yeah. But that's what God does. I mean, like if it's his, he's going to take care of it regardless. And no human is ever going to have the solution.
Nope.
Absolutely.
Well, we would have messed it up had we tried to fix it our way.
Oh yeah.
So I hope you all are on board with Unmovable. I hope this theme has been a blessing to you. We're actually going beyond Unmovable the next 4 weeks, and so we're so excited. Hope y'all will join us for that. The podcast will continue on. Hope you'll share it with friends. So before we go, guys, let's have some fun. I don't know. Let's hit each other with baseball bats. No, let's.
I've already done this.
Just so happens I have here. No, let's. So, what was your favorite part of camp besides nerf? Obviously,
That was your favorite.
what was your favorite part? Like, most enjoyable, most fun. What was the favorite part?
I mean, there's a lot of things. Well, the most.
Totally put them on spot, but Jayme will mutter something. It doesn't matter if it's accurate. She will mutter
Put
something.
the mic up.
Well, like, no, I think the funniest thing that, like, besides the sock situation, trying to fill that stupid thing, was when we ran out of gas, the whole situation that led up before that. Yeah. So, Jeremy Mead jumped on the back of it and was like, "This thing has some get up and go." And we're like, "Yeah, it does." All this stuff. And I went to hit the gas pedal. It goes, doo, doo, doo. Then we had to push it off the side. I'm like, "Thanks, Jeremy." He did. It was just funny.
This year was just really different for me because like I was talking to one of my good friends and I was like, this year, like, I feel like no one knows who I am. I can kind of just like be in the background. Like, there were a lot of new people at camp, which was such a huge blessing. And it kind of let me experience camp a little bit differently. Like, I wasn't quite as much in the spotlight. I had a baby to take care of and just a lot to balance. And I really enjoyed getting to experience it more from that like outside view, like probably more what you guys typically see than, I don't know. I just always have felt like I'm so front and center and that everything I do is just watched by everyone. And I kind of got to like meld into the background a little bit. So just like watching the teams compete and like seeing all these new kids. And then halfway through the week, I realized some of these kids that I thought were brand new were just grown up children that I had known previously. But I don't know. I think that it was exciting to see it from a new perspective.
Yeah.
I love the atmosphere. So I kind of refer to it as like, I don't know if you guys remember, like Texas, you were all there to serve someone else. Like you don't go clean out moldy houses for yourself. Like that's
There were no moldy houses at camp. Let me clarify.
This was a different thing.
And, but like I kind of felt that same spirit of just selflessness that I felt at Texas at camp too. We were just there to serve the whole week.
Yeah, I would echo that. I was actually talking with Jenny about someone who was at camp who didn't really come for camp. Is interesting, but they showed up and they labored with us for the week. And I remember telling her, like, she said, you know, they're enjoying this so much, and I was like, they're getting a taste of serving. They're giving a taste of servanthood and of giving, and that does something to you. You can't buy that. You can't bottle that. There really is. And I would echo that. Like, I had that too. I'm not in any way boasting or tooting my own horn, or is that cucumbers? Don't toot cucumbers, whatever you do. No one's going to listen to this podcast ever again.
Some people I have heard.
See, this is what I can do all week. Just make them giggle. It's so much fun. Anyhow, what were we even talking about? Oh, yeah, servant.
Cucumbers, apparently.
Yeah,
I want to see you bring
I want to hear. Okay, yeah. All right, let's steer this back over here. One of the things that I got to do this week, like, dude, y'all are trashy. Like, you throw trash everywhere. There's trash constantly everywhere.
Yeah.
And, like, I would be zipping here and zipping there and running here and running there. And, like, I got to pick up the trash out of the yard. And I know that sounds so dumb. And again, I'm not boasting. But I was actually thankful for that. Like, I was thankful for the opportunity to do the little things that I don't a lot of times get to do. And just to do it unbeknownst now that it's knownst. Oh. But I don't know. There is something about
You now have your reward on earth.
I know. Shucks. I now get cucumbers for the reward. But I was thankful for that. I was thankful for just the ability to give and to do something so that someone else didn't have to, and just to serve people that I love.
I think what's exciting for me too about this year is we have talked a little bit about our church and like having the year off and how COVID really brought us together in unity, and we've had so many more people from Sandhill. I mean, like, we were in the top 3 for numbers of people.
We've never been there. We've never been there.
Ever. And what was so exciting is realizing, especially this morning, like when we came back to church, I am just as happy and just as content being here with my church family as I was at camp. And in the past, it's been like, it's so heartbreaking to leave camp. And while like that's still there because we want to be with all of our extended church families, knowing that the Lord has given us such a good place here, like that's important too.
The other thing I noticed this morning too with our home church here at Sandhill is there was nothing left.
Yeah.
Which at first I was like, we gotta do. We don't have to do church, but like, we have church to go through. But it was almost a weird blessing that we were so exhausted because I could look out on their face and see they gave everything. They held nothing back. no reserves. Like everything has been exhausted. We are on E for empty. Like we are exerted everything we have. And
there's something special about worshiping the Lord when you have nothing.
There
left.
is.
Yeah,
like we literally, Sandhill gave all, and they left all there. And I don't think they could have given another ounce. Like we literally gave all, and so that explains why we are the way we are.
People are raising their hands like this.
Can you? I really want to worship. Could you throw that hand above my shoulder for me? Like but it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to be exhausted and exerted for the Lord, and it's a privilege. So, anything else before we go? Are you guys nothing else? Do you want to say cucumber one more time? No.
Cucumber.
The lips. That was new. I didn't. Yeah, that was new. I don't use my lips when I say that word. Oh no.
Fake laugh. Now I need to see you use the lips.
I know I can't do it. You're watching me. Anyhow, it was really great to have all the new people this year.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like we had a complete overhaul of people. Like we had a few returns.
Staff and kids.
Yeah, we really had all new people, and I don't think it was like out of spite. Like, oh, I'm not going back there. It was just, I think it was a COVID thing. It was a work thing for most I heard.
Well,
but I think it was all
people were in new places too.
Yeah,
Like had they
new
been games
walks.
before, they were in prayer stations,
Yep.
and it just was.
But what I'm excited about is I think going into next year, if the world stays normal, I think we'll have our old folks return and our new folks. Like we'll just have a big old family, and that's exciting. That's exciting to do. Well, everyone, thanks so much again for tuning in for the NOYC Godcast. So excited to have you along with us. I hope you'll tune in next week as we continue the conversation. Don't forget to share today's Godcast with a friend so that we can encourage one another in Christ. Until next time, we'll see ya.
Bye.
Cucumber.